Okay, we've got another video on AS Maths and we're looking at factorizing quadratics. So here it is. Now, those of you who've done your GCSE Maths would already know how to factorize, hopefully. Now, if you don't, then I've put out some instructions here for everyone to follow, and we're going to follow that through and factorize all of these quadratics real quick. So let's get going. Now, just quickly, let me write this quadratic out one more time. There we go. And let's go. So first thing is label the coefficient of x squared as a. Now, here's the x squared term. The number in front of there is going to be a 1, so I'm going to call that a. So I'm going to say a is equal to 1. Next, let's highlight the x term, and the coefficient of the x term is minus 2, because you can see a minus 2 in front of it. We'll label that b. So I'm going to say b is equal to minus 2. And then c, well, the constant term on the end there is minus 15. So I'm going to label that c. So c is equal to minus 15. Right. Great. Step number 1 done. Step 2, multiply a and c together. So that's 1 times by minus 15, which is just minus 15. And what we're going to do, we're going to make a note of what b is. So b is minus 2. Next, think of a pair of numbers that multiplies to make a and c. Well, we're going to think of a few pairs of numbers. So what can multiply to give us minus 15? Well, minus 15 times by 1, or we can do 15 times by minus 1, or we could do maybe minus 5 times by 3, or we could do 5 times by minus 3. There we go. There's our options. Now, which one are we going to pick? So we're going to pick the one that adds together to give minus 2. So which one's that going to be? That's going to be minus 5 and positive 3. So minus 5 and 3. There we go. That's step number 2 done. So what do we do now? Step 3. Use those two numbers that you've just picked, right? You're going to use them to split up the middle term. So this, you're going to use it to rewrite the minus 2x. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to have x squared, and then minus 5x plus 3x, and then minus 15. Okay, now we're almost there. What do we do now? We're going to do some factorizing. So I'm going to put that plus sign in as it is, and I'm going to factorize this first. So what can I take out of these two terms? I can take an x out of there. So x and then x minus 5. And then I'm going to factorize these two terms over here. What can we take out of there? The common factor is 3. So we'll have 3 and then x minus 5. Now, as you can see, these two brackets match up perfectly. So all we need to do now is factorize this bracket here outside of this expression. So we got x minus 5, and what's left? Well, x plus 3. There we go, done. So there we go, there's your x minus 5s. So you factorize that out, and what's left behind? Well, x plus 3. So that's where that bracket has come from. And there we go, first one done. Let's follow exactly the same thing to do the second one. So I'll just rewrite this out again. So x squared minus 10x plus 21. And we'll get highlighting. So there's x squared. There's a 1 in front of it. So we'll label that as a. So a is equal to 1. B is, well, minus 10, because you've got minus 10x. So we'll say b equals minus 10. And then c is the constant term, which is the bit on the end there. And that's just going to be a positive 21. So we'll say c equals 21. So now multiply a and c together. That's 1 times 21, which is just 21. Make a note of what b is. That's minus 10. And now we've got to think of numbers that multiply to give us 21. So that's going to be, well, 21 times 1, or minus 21 times minus 1. We can do 7 times 3, and then minus 7 times minus 3. There we go. Got all those options. Which one do we want? We want the one that adds to minus 10, because that's what b was. And which one is going to add to minus 10? That's that one in there. So minus 7 minus 3. Perfect. We now use that to split up our middle term over here. So let's go. Let's rewrite it as x squared, and then minus 7x minus 3x, and then plus 21. Right, that sign there, the minus sign, I'm going to take it down, and then I'm going to factorize the first two terms here. What's common between those two terms is just an x. So we'll take an x outside of the bracket, and what's left inside there, x take away 7. And then factorize, well, this bit here. What can we take out of there? We can take out a 3. So if I put a 3 on the outside, be careful obviously, because this is now minus 3 on the outside of that bracket. So what's left inside, that's going to be x, and then minus 7. Why? Because minus 3 times minus 7 would give you the positive 21 that's there. Okay, great. Now we can see that the x minus 7 here and the x minus 7 here are matching. So we can factorize those two brackets out. And then we've got x minus 3 remaining. So now our two brackets are going to end up as x minus 7 and x minus 3. Done. Okay, now this one here, you can't really see an x term, but you should realize that you could just rewrite this as, well, x squared plus 0x minus 36, okay? And then you could follow this method again and factorize the whole thing. However, you should also realize that this here is a special case for factorizing, and it's called the difference of two squares. When do you look out for this? You look out for this when you've got a squared number on the end, right? You see the squared number, get suspicious, and think this might be the difference of two squares. Now, what the hell is the difference of two squares? Well, we're going to see in a second. Now, let's factorize this following these instructions as usual. So, first part, that there is going to be 1 again, so a is equal to 1. And then b, let's get highlighting here. So b is actually equal to 0. And then c, number on the end, is just minus 36. So that's that over there. Boom. So a, b, and c. Okay, next, multiply a and c together. That's 1 times by minus 36, which is just minus 36. Note down what b is 0. And so let's write down pairs of numbers that multiply to make minus 36. So that's going to be, well, minus 6 times 6, or maybe minus 9 times 4, or 9 times minus 4. I think that'll do for now, to be honest, because what we need to do is select the one that adds to give us how much? 0, because that's what b was. And the one that's going to give us 0 is right here. That's minus 6 and positive 6. And so what should we do? We'll rewrite the middle term. So we're going to have that now as x squared minus 6x plus 6x minus 36. Bring the plus sign down, and then let's factorize the first two bits. Bam, bam. So that's x on the outside, x take away 6, and then the last two bits here as well. What's common there? Just the 6, and then it's going to be x minus 6. There we go. Perfect. And then what you'll see is now we've got these two brackets matching up very nicely. We've got x minus 6, and then what's left? Well, we've got x here and then add 6. So our two brackets are going to end up as, well, x minus 6 and then x plus 6. So what you can see is this is the difference of two squares, because we've got 36, which is a square number, and then the two brackets that we create has the square root of that number inside there as a plus and as a minus. So that's the difference of two squares. Done. Now with this one as well, it's the same thing, right? We've got 25y squared. So that there, 25 is a square number. So again, be suspicious. This is probably the difference of two squares. So here's what we're going to do. I'm just going to take it. I'm going to write 16x squared minus 25y squared. And we're just going to have a think about what could our two brackets be. Well, we know 16x squared, well, the square root of 16 is just 4. So I'm going to put 4s in the front. Square root of x squared, that's just going to be an x, so x and an x like that. And then we're going to have a plus and a minus, because remember, difference of two squares, one's going to be a plus, one's going to be a minus. Then let's square root 25, which is just 5, and then square root the y. So that's going to be y and y. And that would be it. Done. Nice and simple. So with the difference of two squares, you don't actually need to follow through this whole method over here. You should be able to spot it and then put it into two brackets as we've just done. Okay, next. Another one of these quadratics, but this time we've actually got a coefficient of of x squared that's not actually 1. So let's have a go at this. So we've got 6x squared, and then we got 7x, and then take away 3. So get highlighting. So a this time is equal to 6, and b is equal to 7, and then we've got c, the constant there just on the end, is minus 3. So there we go, c is equal to minus 3. So let's multiply a and c together. That's 6 times by minus 3, which is minus 18. And then make a note of what b is. b is 7. And then what we got to do, think of our pairs of numbers. So to make minus 18, what have we got? We've got minus 9 times by 2, or we've got 9 times by minus 2, we've got 18 times by minus 1, or minus 18 times by 1. I think we've got the answer there, haven't we? Because we need the pair that adds to 7, and that there is going to be 9 and minus 2. So 9 and minus 2. What do we do with those? Use those again to rewrite that middle term. So we've got 6x squared plus 9x, take away 2x, and then take away 3. Okay, let's go. Let's bring this middle minus sign down there, and then factorize out the first two parts. So what's the common factors there between 6x squared and 9x? I think we can take out 3x altogether. So what are we left with? That's going to be 2x plus 3. And then over here now, let's just quickly put this in a box. Well, is there anything common there? I don't think so. All we can do is take out a factor of 1. So 1 on the outside, and then what's left over? Well, 2x and then plus 3. So do be careful because you've got a minus 1 on the outside there, right? So that's going to be a plus 3. Great. Now we've got our brackets that are matching up. So you've got 2x plus 3, 2x plus 3. And then what else have we got? Well, we're left with a 3x minus 1. And so our two final brackets are going to be 3x minus 1 and then 2x plus 3. Bam, bam, done. Okay. One more to go. Let's get this one done real quickly. So we've got 10x squared minus 9x minus 9. So A, B, and C again. A this time is going to equal 10, B is going to equal minus 9, and C is also going to equal minus 9. Great. Multiply A and C together. That there is going to be 10 times by minus 9, which is minus 90. And make a note of what B is. B is minus 9. So we've got to think of numbers now that times to minus 90. So that's going to be, well, minus 30 and 3. Or we'll go minus 3 times by 30. Anything else? We could go minus 9 and 10, or minus 10 and 9. Still not any of the ones that we need. I think it's going to be 15 and 6. So minus 15 times by 6, or minus 6 times 15. Now, which one of those is going to give us minus 9? Well, that one there with the minus 15 and 6. So minus 15 and 6. Great. What do we do with this? Rewrite our middle term. So we've got 10x squared minus 15x plus 6x minus 9. Okay, and then let's get factorizing this now. So the first two terms there, I think we can take out a 5x from there, so 5x. And then what's left behind? Well, 2x minus 3. And then the last two terms there, what's common there? I think just a 3. So 3 and then 2x minus 3. This is good news. So our brackets are matching up. So we've got 2x minus 3, 2x minus 3. That's great. So we can factorize that part out. And then what are we left with? Well, 5x add 3. So my two brackets then are going to end up as 2x minus 3 and 5x plus 3. And that is that. Now, there's a couple there for you to practice. Hopefully this should be real simple. So have a quick go, and then we'll catch up in a couple of seconds to go through the answers. Righto, it is solution time. Now, with the first one, hopefully you've all spotted that is the difference of two squares. And so what you would have needed is a 5x squared minus y and a 5x squared plus y. And that was it. Nice and simple for the first one. The second one, you would have needed to follow the whole method there of factorizing the quadratic. And so I'm hoping you would have ended up with, I think that's a 2x and an x, 5 and 1 minus and minus. So 2x minus 1 and x minus 5. Hopefully you have got that. If not, go back to some of the examples earlier on in the video and practice those again until you have absolutely nailed it. Okay, great. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you've got your factorizing quadratics nailed, and then stay tuned. The next video is on factorizing cubics, I think. So another important skill for your A-level maths. So hope to catch you there.